you're one of the passionate fans, we'll joke about it. You don't need to lie to me. It's fine.
That's one thing that we've been Well, if the first game of the Division II men's playoff was not enough for you, then how about another exciting edition of playoff hockey? We welcome you to the College Hockey South game of the week between the number 5 and number 7 teams in the country on the National My Hockey Rankings. The Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee missed the Division II playoffs last year, but looking to make a huge rally here in the southern part of the United States, especially with Nationals looming for the first time in Middle Tennessee history. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ice at Tampa, Spartans 4th place last year after a thrilling shootout win against Central Florida in the first round and a tough loss to the Volunteers of Knoxville in the semifinals. They look to rally back and take vengeance heading towards the Division II championship. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Brady Palmer, proud to be with you in Coral Springs, Florida. Brady, this Middle Tennessee team has already made strides and made several records in this year alone. But what impresses me most is the fact that on the road, 6-3-1 in the regular matchups, only 3 other losses that came at home, and they've been really impressive down the stretch of the season.
It's been an amazing season for the MTSU Blue Raiders, and last year, in fact 2 years ago, they started a rebuilding process with a new head coach and new captain and team president Lyndon Palmer. They went on a mission and recruited like nobody's business, have built a team that has stood up to the challenge and has really executed all season long in more ways than one. We can talk more about that as the game goes along, but just been an amazing turnaround for this program over the last 2 years in a culmination of only their second trip to the CHS playoffs, and which will lead to their very first appearance in AAU Nationals.
Yeah, losing 3 straight of their last 4 matchups, including their last 2 against Florida Atlantic, which are right now the best team in the country on the rankings. But when you look at Tampa on the other side as well, they're coming in with 2 wins, both of those by 2 goals or more. And you've got a team that is a number 3 seed in the South that could have a chance at an upset here. But if there's one thing we know about playoff hockey, 0-0-0 on the record boards, doesn't matter which team is on the ice.
Absolutely, and all you got to do is get into the tournament, and you just wait and see what happens. As I've looked at the stats in preparation for today's game, the thing that really amazes me is when you look at goal leaders for MTSU. Matt Siciliano with 30. For Tampa, Reagan Lyon with 12. Assists, Ethan DeMumbrim has 35. Tyler Hoffberg with 21. Brendan Ogle leads the team for MTSU in points. Tyler Hoffberg leads with 29 for Tampa, but yet you look at goals per game, yep. MTSU averages 6.8, 5.3 for Tampa. So MTSU very focused in who's going to be in their producers. Tampa, you don't know who's going to jump out and get you.
We had a relatively low-scoring game in this first matchup for D2, but based on that stat line, it might come down to goaltending this one, but it might also come down to who gets the lucky bounces or lucky deflections in front.
As it is in a lot of in a lot of playoff hockey. We saw that last night in the USA-Canada game. You know, Canada got a lucky bounce, and turned out that they ended up coming away with a victory, and what a great series that was.
Yeah, when you look at these rosters as well for both the teams, a lot of players from the United States. We certainly have some international representation throughout the other teams that are in this Division II bracket, but for the most part, a lot of homegrown United States players, which you were mentioning about that 4 Nations final championship last night. I tell you, I just hope we get the privilege of calling a game as intense as that one last night.
Well, I tell you, it could be, and it depends on how physically these teams want to come out and play. MTSU won to play to the level of the team that they're up against. If they come out and they're going to get a physical start from Tampa, MTSU very easily can ratchet that up. If it's going to be a game of skill where you're going to see a lot of passing, a lot of finesse, MTSU ready to play that way too. So it's one of those games that it could go either way. It could be wildly entertaining either way.
Looks like they're fixing a little bit of an ice divot. Almost feels like the grounds crew at the Masters are in Augusta that's trying to fix something on the side right now. We've had a little bit of delays. There was no one in the score box for the start when we started capturing the audio on air, and now trying to fix. I think someone was trying with a 5-iron on that corner if they're really working hard to try and get this.
So this is the second 2 versus 3 matchup of the evening. Coming up after this one, you have the 2 1 versus 4s. And judging from what I've seen from either program, those games could go either way as well.
Well, and I mean, you think about it, you mentioned it's number 2 seed in the North versus number 3 seed in the South in terms of College Hockey South rankings. But Tampa, even though they're the lower seed, they're higher ranked on the National My Hockey ranking. So it's still one of those where on paper you could say it's an upset in conference play, but on the national rankings, if Tampa is able to win it. But on the other side as well, you could say on a national ranking, certainly those rankings would be shaked up in any capacity. But I know the selection show just happened a couple of days ago for the Division II side. So Middle Tennessee excited to go down there, as are the Tampa Spartans.
When you look at the North and South divisions in Division II in College Hockey South, those top three teams in the North, top 4 teams in the South, all of them very, very talented. Lots of parity between those two, and you just never know how that's going to happen. You look at MTSU versus Clemson. Clemson number 1 in the North. They split when Clemson came to Nashville. MTSU also played Florida Atlantic, who's the number 1 team in the North, to a couple of very close games in Nashville, and lost both of those games, but it was one of those that we were proud to play. It was some of the most fun hockey I've ever seen, as it was fast, it was intense, and it was highly skilled.
See, they've got a full shovel full of some ice chunks there. I wonder if we can make snow cones.
I was going to say, maybe they could get us little paper cones, put a little strawberry syrup in it. That'd be a perfect. Because I do have to say, all of my fans that are in Middle Tennessee right now, the temperature is about 15, 20 degrees there right now. It's 76 with a nice breeze here. It's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
So, I hate it for all of y'all freezing up there in Middle Tennessee.
And yet somehow they're fine with watching ice hockey to remind them of the frozen weather.
Yeah. That's what people always ask. What are you going to South Florida for? Well, you think
hockey.
I'm going to go? You think I'm going to go lay on the beach, but no, I'm going to go sit in the hockey rink. Which is that's a perfect vacation, if you ask me.
A lot of change around Middle Tennessee this last year. New head football coach as well, and as you mentioned, new hockey coach.
Yeah. And Derek Mason used to be the head coach at Vanderbilt, who Vanderbilt played just right before us here. So lots of changes going on. Like I said, new hockey coach, and we're ready to get things underway.
Winner moves on to the semifinals. Loser will head to a 5th or 6th place consolation game. And we are underway here from Coral Springs in the Panthers IceDen. As this gets slung back around the boards, McMillan of Tampa will send it back down as it gets back into Middle Tennessee zone. Polonchak had slung it back around. This goes into the area again of McMillan. And McMillan tried to get it in front on net, and a good opportunity with no teammate around. That was McDonough who got it in the area.
MTSU often struggles with keeping people out of the slot, and Tampa clearly watching film looking to try and exploit that.
A lot of these programs have a lot of access to film, particularly thanks to Black Dog Hockey on the opportunity they offer for respective programs. Here's a quick rush on the outside. Yanash looking for on the wing and a shot, and a great save by the goaltender.
Donovan Yaznak playing up just a little bit high. Good feed. Did not see who it came from, but Yaznak comes in, throws it in on goaltender Pelagian, and good exchange for both sides as we just a minute into the play here at the Florida IceDen.
Early test for the 22-year-old from Concord, Massachusetts, as Middle Tennessee will take it from the blue line. Tried to sling it in, and another pad save there from Palanjajan. This goes back around the backside of the net. And look, Middle Tennessee trying to set it up here, but Tampa's defense will fend it off. This goes back across the blue line, and a quick rush here for the Spartans. Here goes a shot and an opportunity that finds its way off of the pads of the goaltender in Kopik, and there's a good shot opportunity there for the Spartans.
Nice speed, but good job by Lima coming back to force him to the far side to stop take the angle away.
It was Ethan Gelman who took the shot from the outside, and another opportunity was put on net a few seconds ago as Middle Tennessee's defensive line tries to fend it off as it gets intercepted back in the neutral zone, and Tampa will just dump it in for a line change. Placentia deals it down as Middle Tennessee has it back in the area. Stalzer. It'll definitely be another one of those physically tested games between these two teams, but not to the effect of penalty minutes, as Middle Tennessee a lot more disciplined on the regular season than the Spartans.
That was one thing that was quite eye-opening to me, that in Middle Tennessee, 8.5 PIMs per game, 24.8 for the Spartans.
This gets sent back outside of Tampa zone. Icing is waved off as the goaltender. Dangerous maneuver there by Kopech, who does sling it back around his backside of the net. Split-second decision from goaltenders on whether or not you can make it successful there or not. This gets gloved down by Kopech.
Yeah, Kopech not scared at all to come out of the net, and sometimes he does cause us to pucker up a little bit around here.
Yeah, the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina. He's started in every game that he has played throughout his career, a total of 23 heading into this weekend. And he's actually improved, but only by 2 percent points in his save percentage. Was at 89% in his first year, and now up to 91 on the regular season. This gets slung. Another chance there for Kopech. Kopech will stick it back over to Banas. As Middle Tennessee will try to send it back down, and they will rule icing, even though it went off of the stick of Landers Jr.
Just 3 minutes in, and feels like both teams still trying to feel each other out.
We mentioned at the open that this should be a potential high-scoring game. Might not see that in the first 5 minutes of the first period, as this gets back into the area of Beechler. Back over into the neutral zone, and Middle Tennessee will be called for an icing.
Asa Rogers not happy with the call, felt he got there first, but it doesn't matter what he thinks. The man in stripes has made the call, and that's the way it's going to be.
I believe this is the same group of officials that worked that first Division II game that started getting chippy down the latter parts of it. So this officiating crew trying to keep things under control and keep the emotions in check, as in the area is Palomchak, who will help to reset for the Spartans as they try to get an offensive stride here. Beechler poked at it as this goes back into the neutral zone and trying to sling it down. An opportunity here for Middle Tennessee. Lyndon Palmer. Here's Palmer along the boards with a fight for it as Palmer slings it in front, and a great opportunity, but Brendan Ogle could not get the shot on net as he's got the puck again. To chance for redemption, tried to get it on the backdoor pass to his teammate in Demumbrum, but Tampa's defense manages to hold off for the moment. As this gets back out to the neutral zone for Schneck, and he had a hand up there from the official, could have been offsides, but Tampa will sling it back to the neutral zone, and Middle Tennessee on the possession. Almost a dangerous opportunity had Haupt gotten to the puck. Back into Tampa's side of the zone as this goes back to the Blue Raider end of the rink. And we got a whistle for a stoppage.
That first line, we've seen that all season long with MTSU, where they just seem to know where each other are at, and that'd be a reason why they have led College Hockey South all season long in goals scored, assists, and total points.
Been one of the top teams on that in College Hockey South and in the nation on that metric.
Worked very well together. Shows the referee really coming up there and giving Yesnak an earful about something.
Probably trying to shut down any chirping that's going on throughout the game.
I tell you, hats off to these referees officiating a game and coming out and doing a second one.
Yeah, they don't get any line changes for the Zebras on the ice.
Yeah. And, man, those linesmen, they skate in hard when there's a stoppage in front of the net. So those guys, they get a workout.
Coward slings it down as it'll be an icing. Looks like Sean Joyce was trying to get in possession of it to prevent that from being called, but just outside of the reach of his stick with 14:49 left to go in the first. Mentioned how this Middle Tennessee team missed the postseason last year, and mentioned how they have a new head coach, essentially new team president, as they try to change the tide of the program. It's been around for a couple of decades at this point in the borough, as they try to make some sort of history here. And a chance in front. Looked like Papanetti could have taken a backhanded shot, but had too many Tampa Spartans around him.
All this set up nicely as Stalzer threw the puck in. Papanetti tried to tip it in, but good setup, good effort for MTSU. Now Tampa on the attack.
Yeah, Coward in the area and looking behind the net, as in the area was Steiner, and we've got a delayed penalty coming up, and we're going to get our first power play of the game.
Looks like that's going to go on Justin Beechler, who's going to grab 2 for interference. Sorry, that's Larson Smith. My bad.
Yeah, Smith had 5 penalties for a total of 10 minutes sitting in the box on the season. Had the same metric in the previous year in 23-24, so now he's over his quota in terms of spending time in the box.
A lot of times those interference penalties are just working hard. Good opportunity for MTSU to work on this PK. They've had good success on it all year long.
See how they can fend off against the Spartans as McMillan. We've got another penalty coming up. Another interference call.
Looks like that may be going on Tampa.
You're right, they're going to send Lerhaupt to the box.
That penalty at 6 minutes and 2 seconds, first period. And boy, just like that, we're going to get 4-on-4, and this is where your teams with speed are going to really be able to show out.
And only a 10-second difference between power plays, so not that much of an advantage for Middle Tennessee. Though, I mean, we saw in the previous game where Vanderbilt scored within 10 seconds of their respective first power play of the game. So time not necessarily a factor, but we have 4-on-4 for the next minute 45. Middle Tennessee sticks at it. This is back into the area, Siciliano. And this gets poked away. Trying to fend it forward is Ogle. Ogle will sling this back around. Siciliano in the area, but so are several Spartan defenders. And another rush, McMillan leading, and a sling for a shot, and a good save there by Kopik.
Tampa never really had a whole lot of steam coming up through the neutral zone. MTSU well defended. About the only thing they could do is throw it in deep, get the stoppage, and take their chances on the face-off down low.
And you're not going to get past Kopik on shots like that either.
No. I would say teams playing at this level, you're not going to get shots like that past any goaltender.
Not very often, at least.
Yeah.
They would have to be having a really lack of sleep the night before, like several of us on the crew have. Getting down here to Coral Springs the night before. DeMumbrum trying to quick rush and the fancy stick work. He's got the shot on goal and a good pad save from Palandijan.
Good defensive work there, Palomchak, as he managed to push DeMumbrum out wide. Took away the angle as well.
Siciliano will deal forward into the neutral zone. He's got the puck himself. Siciliano trying to get on a backhanded shot, and it's another save from Palandijan.
Boy, and Matt Siciliano been sitting on 99 career points, collegiate career points for a couple of games now, and I know he's getting frustrated. We're looking forward to him being able to pick up that 100. Lyndon Palmer, the first player in MTSU history earlier this season to pick up 100 career points. So Matt Siciliano looking to be the second MTSU player to do that.
Yeah, Siciliano just turned 24 last month. The junior from Hendersonville trying to break through for his team to get the first goal of the game. You can see the emotion starting to come out here for the players as we looked like the official put his hand up there temporarily, but no penalty. And here's a chance for Middle Tennessee on the outside, and a shot that's not going to make its way through. But the follow-up, how in the world did that puck not go through from the stick of Beechler? I couldn't answer it for you. A great setup there from Yanash on the back door, and Middle Tennessee with a great opportunity and just great goaltending from Palandajan.
I have no idea how he got that glove up there to make that save, but boy, what an amazing save that was to keep this game knotted at 0.
I almost started calling it a goal because it really looked like it went in from this vantage point.
I couldn't believe it didn't.
Fighting for it, Placentia. Will deal it out from the point into the neutral zone. This gets slung back around the boards.
Both penalties have expired, so we're back to 5-on-5.
Even strength, nobody cracking through on the power play. And it looks like icing is going to be waved off by the other official. He had one with his hand up, but the near side linesman said no dice. As Gilbin on the backside with the pass. Placentia from the blue line. Placentia with the sling through, and it goes wide of the net. This goes back in the neutral zone. Here's Tampa trying to get a quick rush, and a great interception there by Stalzer. As Stalzer in the area tries to put the pressure on the puck and had a little bit of a collision with McDonough, but not enough to warrant a tripping penalty. In the area there was Palmer as this goes back down into MTSU's zone, and it will be ruled an icing.
Speed of the game and pressure on net starting to ratchet up just a little bit as teams settling in and feeling a little more comfortable with what they're seeing out of the other teams. Nine minutes gone here in the first period, still knotted at 0.
And there's another opportunity in front, and Palandajan showing again why on the season he was at 93% on his saves.
Well, judging from that shot from Beechler that he saved, I know why he's at 93%.
2.79 GAA. He's only played, hard to believe he's only played 6 games this year out of the 20 games total that Tampa has had on their Division II section. Played 9 games and all starts in the previous year, and it was 88% on his saves. As we were talking about beforehand with these offenses, gets slung in front, a dangerous opportunity. Kopech was in the right position as the puck went wide. DeMumbrum has got some help on the other side, slung and looked for a deflection off of Palandajan, but didn't get it to go. Deal this back in the area. He's back. Brendan Sickles fighting for it for Tampa. And MTSU still has it back at the blue line, slung around as they try to set up the screen. Looking for an angle in front, and a good stick deflection there as the whistle is blown. That was Lerhaupt who got a stick on it.
Going to have a hooking penalty being whistled against, I believe. He looks like he's pointing at number 12. Going to be number 7. That's going to be Gavin Palomchak. So MTSU going to have their first real opportunity on the power play. MTSU currently just 1 power play goal per game on average.
All it takes is 1, right?
That's 100%.
And right from the face-off, a shot, and Palandajan anticipating it. It's not often you see from the face-offs in the zone there, you have a shot directly on net. Only took 1 second off of the power play as MTSU will try to break through. Yanash on the outside. That was Lima, and in the area, this bounces along into the neutral zone, and Middle Tennessee will have to reset. Schneck. Set this up to Wrench. Lima will deal it into Tampa's zone, and trying to stop it there was Palandajan. As checked into the boards is Wrench.
Tough entry into the zone for MTSU. Is got to get those passes tape to tape.
Tampa doing their job properly on the power play defense as they've got 65 seconds left till they're back at even strength. Middle Tennessee trying to prevent that. Here's Ogle. Ogle will weave it back to the blue line on the pass, and Siciliano tried to get it through, and looking in front for the pass was Giblin.
Nice stick there by Nicholas McMillan to get up there and deflect the shot from Siciliano.
Yeah, Siciliano with another shot. And you were mentioning he's looking frustrated and trying to crack through in some capacity. There's the Mumbrum back on the other side, Siciliano. Siciliano will pass it off to his captain in Palmer. Siciliano with the shot, tried to get a lucky bounce there from Gilbin. Siciliano back at the blue line. They'll try to set it up. 24 seconds left on the power play. Back along the boards. Pass it over. Palmer has got the open one, and on the back door, couldn't get it in. Looked like he had the angle, but Ogle just couldn't get the shot on. 10 seconds left. They've got numbers for Tampa. 2-on-1. Tried to flip it up for the shot and scissored away by Palmer. And that will bring it to the final few seconds. Palmer trying to weave it through the defense. He's got a shot on net, and it goes off of Palandajan. And a backdoor pass with full strength. Another shot finds its way along the boards as Tampa defends that power play. But MTSU keeping the pressure on as they could not get the puck in. Beechler had several screens. 7:40 left to go in this first period. Back inside the Middle Tennessee zone along the blue line. This gets gloved down by Landers.
Best pressure by MTSU so far.
And looked like it would have been offsides had Tampa pursued it, and a dart of a puck that went on net, essentially from the median line. As this goes back, Beechler will send it back in, but Middle Tennessee would have been offsides if they had pursued it.
Right now, MTSU doing a very good job of keeping Tampa on their heels and applying pressure, staying down in the Tampa zone as we're getting ready to see Asa Rogers do the same thing.
Rogers with the quick rush there. Stalzer just dumps it through, but Palandajan just dumps it away. Both goaltenders tested thoroughly thus far. Here's another opportunity, tried to weave a dangerous pass in front, and a collision, and we've got a penalty. Looks like it's...
I think the net's off.
No, they're sending, it looks like they're sending him to the box. The net off too, but... Or at least it looked like the official was pointing.
Well, he was pointing, but he may be saying it's going out of the zone.
Yep.
I think it must have been him that Tampa knocked the net off.
Yep.
So they're going to bring the puck out of the zone as they will do so. The face-off dot right here in front of us.
Yeah, so Hayline collided with Kopech, but didn't look like it was in intentional contact on that. Because usually you sometimes encounter those issues, but not this time around. Not that chippy of a game at this point. As we reach about 6.5 left to go in this first period. What's almost felt like a baseball score with 0-0. The end of the equivalent of 3 innings. That gets scissored in front. Gilbin looked like he was trying to get it to bounce in. This gets sent back into Tampa zone for Middle Tennessee to get a defensive line change in.
Be careful with baseball scores. I saw William and Mary played North Dakota. It was 36-22 or something like that. Be a heck of a hockey game to have that kind of score.
Yeah, don't ask anybody about that World Series game that went to so many overtimes a couple of years ago. And if only Papanetti had possessed the puck there properly, it would have had a shot on net as this goes just past Kopech and gets back into the area. Smith. Tampa has got it back in front for the shot. They score! Or do they? It looked like it was a goal. Kopech with a great save, and what looked like Tampa was in, and we've got a penalty coming up.
Yes.
And it's a delayed penalty, and it'll be on Tampa.
And we're going to get 2 for a trip.
Man, I thought Mondragona had gotten the puck in there, but I tell you, Kopech's been great.
That must have gone off of the pipe and off the back of Kopech and just not in. But the referee down there on the red line immediately waved it off. There was no question about whether he thought it went in or not.
And you even had several Tampa players who were celebrating vehemently.
Yeah. Brendan Sickles going to be in the penalty box for 2 as MTSU with their second try on the power play.
Yes. Second time for the Blue Raiders to try and get on the board on a man advantage. And looking for a chance in front, but Palandajan again with the save off of the pads as this gets kept from being offside. Siciliano will go in front, and another pad save, Palandajan. Fight for it. There goes Palmer. Palmer. Deal it back. Again, just Tampa's power play defense has been so good.
And they're very aggressive as I'm watching them. They're skating really high.
Palmer looking for the shot and didn't have the angle. Took an extra skate when he probably should have just fired it on net. And we got a whistle. Are they going to send another one?
They're pointing out of the zone. I'm not sure. Don't believe it's going to be a penalty. I believe it's just coming out of the zone and hand pass.
Yep, hand pass.
Thanks to our camera guy on top of it over here. So 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining, the penalty on Sickles.
Because we've got about 4:20 left to go here in this first.
Tampa PK just playing really high. MTSU kind of cursed with that as they, whoever watches film realizes that they can come up really, really high and put a lot of pressure on MTSU, makes it difficult for them to enter the zone cleanly, and Tampa having good success with that.
Maybe one last push on the power play for the Blue Raiders. 20 seconds left as Papanetti is onside with the shot, but couldn't get it to have the speed and burst that he wanted, but it'll at least have a face-off in the zone with 13.
Stick broke.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, there you could see it on the camera shot there.
There's a funny story about that stick. He was telling us that his parents bought him that stick prior to the game, and they cut it for him, but they cut it about an inch short. And so he said he didn't know what he figured he'd try and play with it today and then just break it and get the warranty. But if you're a Bauer, you didn't hear that from me.
No.
So 13 seconds remaining in the penalty on Sickles.
Homer Siciliano trying to fire one in, and it's patted down. Great awareness by Coward as another shot, and it gets gloved by Palandajan.
And that is Siciliano's office right there at the top of the blue line. Played defense for us all last year and scored about 20-25 goals from that defensive blue line position. So a great guy to have back there on a power play.
And Siciliano gets the puck with the power play over. He wants to rip one on that. Palandajan and a backdoor score. Palandajan got the better of him, and a great goal from Middle Tennessee. It's 1-0, and they're going to credit that. Looks like Lyndon Palmer on the back door.
It was Zach Giblin who came in. Giblin picked up the rebound and just had a nifty little between the legs shot that he put directly through the 5-hole of Palangian. And MTSU going to draw first blood. That goal coming at 16 minutes and 44 seconds in the first period.
The question was, who would break through first? And can Middle Tennessee break through again, trying to get a shot on the back door? A great amount of stick work there from Landers Jr., but could not get the angle for the shot as Middle Tennessee goes up 1-0. And another fired shot, that's Palandajan who gloves it.
Having a hard time I'm not finding the game center information pulled up yet.
Yeah, they don't have the stats updated on that either. That's interesting.
Trying to figure out who, because they made the goal announcement with the assist, but I didn't catch it.
Another great opportunity as that puck flies just outside of the post. Middle Tennessee with another shot on net there. This time it came off of the stick of Yanash. Jack Palmer in the area, an opportunity for Tampa trying to weave it around net, and a great save by Kopich as a whistle is blown. You had a great opportunity with the crash on net, and looked like it was off of Reagan Lyon.
Puck misplayed by Justin Beechler, and he's going to go to the penalty box as he had to adjust at the end. It's one of those penalties. They're going to call him for a hook. It's one of those penalties that, you made the mistake. You had to go back and take the threat away. Good penalty to be taken, but untimely, as that gives Tampa the opportunity to try and backdoor their way in to this a hockey game.
We'll get you any updates on whoever had the assists as we know them, but at least for now, Zachary Giblin is what we saw for credit with the goal. And here's Siciliano angry looking for another one. Siciliano on the back door, and a great save by Palandajan.
Man, that was quick. Good effort by Siciliano, not only to kill time, but put the pressure on the goal.
This gets woven back around outside of the point. Tampa trying to keep the pressure on and find the equalizer as that puck goes off of the official. The officials are part of the field of play as this gets sent back around. Tampa trying to get a shot in through a deflection and could not get it to go there. That was Hoffberg trying to find the angle as this goes back into Tampa zone with 1:10 left on the power play. Middle Tennessee gets a line change in. That's 60 seconds as they'll clear the puck out of the zone. Palandajan and will opt not to chase it, but he's got Landers Jr. who's pursuing the puck and just trying to waste time and does that successfully for a couple of seconds. Landers Jr. quick in pursuit. Here's back on the option, Cowart. Get it back out to the blue line, Palamchak. Back to the right side of the point, a shot, and that goes wide and outside. Another change, that was Zahalen.
Textbook power play by Tampa as they set up an umbrella, collapse it down. Had a good opportunity, just couldn't get it on net.
On the outside, McMillan tries to weave it through for the pass off of the boards, trying to send it back in there. Couldn't get it to go, was Zahalen. McMillan, this will be sent back along the boards. 10 seconds left on the power play and about 40 seconds left to go in the first period. And what's been an exciting start of the postseason for both the Blue Raiders and the Spartans. And MTSU gets an interception there on the shorthand, tried to weave through with the fancy stick work. That was great by Lyndon Palmer at first. The captain just could not get it to go. And another shot tried to get the lucky deflection, and it's still in front of the net, finally woven out. It was in the area of Demumbrum and just didn't find the puck in time. You got 10 seconds left in the first period as things wind down here. Middle Tennessee trying to get some more pressure on at the end, but it looks like we may just have to settle for this puck being fought along the boards for the final few seconds of the first period. Time for the guys to head to the showers. Middle Tennessee breaks through just on the outset of a power play. Zachary Gilbin, the sophomore, breaking through for MTSU.
Referee just absolutely giving an earful over there to Matt McMillan after the hit on the boards right at the buzzer. I don't know what was wrong with it. It looked just like normal hockey to me, but the referee, one thing I will say is they've done a good job of trying to control emotions in this game, and looks like we're getting some lip that's coming from the Tampa bench and referee not having any part of it and clearing them out. But MTSU able to get that first goal of the game at 16:44 off the stick of Zach Giblin. I will go over during intermission and go find out who the assists came from, and along with try to find out other stats, shots, face-offs won, that sort of thing, as MTSU professor Dr. Don Roy doing stats for our team, be able to at least try to see how things compare going both ways, and we'll bring that back as we come back in the second period.
Second period about to get underway here at the Panthers IceDen. A look at the Division II bracket in the chase for the Ameritrans Cup. And now we're back. Note to everybody: do not get sick or have to recover from sickness. Anyways, South Florida managing to eke past the Commodores of Vanderbilt. They'll be moving on to face off against either the Hurricanes or the Clemson Ice Tigers. And this matchup right now, if the score holds, Middle Tennessee would collide with the Florida Atlantic Owls, who have been incredible in the Division II scene. Either them or if the Ole Miss Rebels could pull off the upset. But in the meantime, we get into second period action. First half stats for you.
So looking at the first period, not much of relative interest, but MTSU out shooting the Spartans of Tampa 20-6. Face-off percentage, MTSU winning 14 of the 22 face-offs, obviously 8 being won by Tampa. So right now, you know, if I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what do I need to do if I'm Tampa? I think, you know, you're going to have to start putting more pressure on the goal. You're going to start making Aiden Kopak earn his living back there and start moving the puck around a little bit better and maintaining possession down in the MTSU zone. If you're MTSU, what do? You just keep on doing what you're doing. They're so far playing very, very disciplined hockey. Penalties right now are 3-2, but MTSU having had 2 full-blown power plays, and you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and that's going to give you opportunities to try and extend this lead. So, you know, that's what the feeble mind of Brady Palmer thinks you got to do if you're wearing either color jersey.
And how about Siciliano getting his 100th career point as well?
Thank you so much. That assist on Giblin's goal was from Matt Siciliano. So Matt Siciliano making the century mark in total points in his collegiate career. So congratulations, that young man, a graduate student out of Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Yeah, and again, he just turned 24 on January 20th, born in 2001, as Siciliano trying to assist his team in any way he can as we get into second period action. Middle Tennessee had a great rally there at first, and we got another chance here as Ogle gets back in possession of the puck. Well, at least for a moment until he gets checked into the boards, and possessing in it is Palmer. He tries to get it back up, back from the blue line. He has a chance to squeak it in, and it's wedged in by the goaltender, Palandajan. Looked like it would have been dangerous had it gotten for a deflection there, but almost looked like it may have went in.
Yeah. Lots of traffic up in front. MTSU doing a good job as the defenseman had the puck back on the blue line, and the MTSU forwards just skating back and forth straight through the slot, creating lots of disruptions down there. But a good save by Pelagian.
Lima, back Siciliano tried to weave it through here as this goes back over Wrench. And Tampa back in possession. Here goes Gelman. Gelman with the quick burst. Gelman to weave it around as it gets pitchforked over by Lima. And a good check into the boards. It looked like at first, but that ends up in a penalty coming up here for Middle Tennessee's Yesnak.
Donovan Yesnak going to grab 2, and what looked like it was a pretty good penalty. They're going to call 2 for boarding.
I guess the noise that you heard from it, and
you know, it's one of those that I don't believe I agree with the penalty, but again, like I said before, it does not matter. I'm not wearing orange armbands, and I can tell you, Dono did not agree with it either. But in the end, he's going to grab 2 and think about what he's done.
Chance for Tampa on their second power play of the game as this gets slung in and it's gloved down. Kopic with another save.
And that's just what you got to do if you're Tampa. You just got to start putting the puck on net, create opportunities. I think if I'm the coach, I want that to come in a little lower, see if you can get the rebound off of the pads and create a garbage goal opportunity.
You talk with players or coaches all the time, either whether they say garbage goals or dirty goals, and sometimes you have to get those unlucky deflections. They always say that's sometimes where you have to get it, but they don't care. It's a goal.
It counts the same as that sweet little wrister from up high that gets past it. It doesn't matter. It's the same on the score sheet. And honestly, if you ask me, my favorite players are grinders. You know, my son is not a grinder, but my favorite players are grinders. I love to watch grinders play, which is what made me happy about Zach Giblin getting his goal. He's the biggest grinder we've got on MTSU's squad.
Yeah, the 22-year-old sophomore from Franklin was previously with the Nashville Spartans and has a total of 50 games in his career, this being game 51. Has a total of 14 goals, 18 assists, 32 points. At least heading into this tournament, so you add on that goal there, and that makes it 33. As Tampa tries to get a point of their own, a dangerous opportunity in front. Another shot that once again is saved by Kopech.
Boy, what an absolutely disgustingly filthy toe drag. I'm trying to get a number. I believe that was 26, Thomas Atanasio. Boy, what a great effort by him to create an opportunity. Two good scoring chances for Tampa. Just a little under 2 minutes gone here in the second period.
We mentioned in the open how Tampa, they have won 2 of their last 3 games. Or actually, I beg your pardon, they won 3 straight, where they had 2 wins, both at a score margin of 5-3 against Lynn University, and then their regular season finale with a 7-4 victory in Central Florida. Tampa with 60 seconds left on the power play gets it back in the Middle Tennessee zone. All players on side. Tampa trying to slice through it, and this gets cleared back down, as that one was cleared by Ratliff.
Tampa being patient and trying to set things up, probably what they need to be doing. As MTSU being aggressive on their PK.
Tried to do some fancy stick work there, but didn't result in a shot on net from Coward. He still possesses the puck and gets it back in the area of Hofberg, and they'll sling it back around as Tampa tries to find an opening as this gets slung high and above the net. And we got a penalty coming up with 15 seconds left on the power play for Tampa. Looks like we've got 2 minutes coming in. Another MTSU player headed to the box.
I sat there and said about it, we got to be disciplined and not give opportunities to Tampa. And so far, we've got more minutes and penalties in this second period than we've played.
I believe they called Ratliff for high sticking there.
High stick, yes.
So only 15 seconds for the 5-on-3 advantage, but you'll have plenty more time for the Spartans to try and break through on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon.
I do want to take a moment just to make sure everybody understands that I'm trying to be as objective as I can in this game, but having done every game for MTSU for the last 4 years and watching my son play, it's hard for me not to be excited about my team, but I will be as unbiased as I possibly can in my call today.
Hey, I've got 2 degrees from Middle Tennessee, so we're kind of in that same boat too. As Yesnak got out of the box, you got about 1:35 left to go on the power play for the Spartans. It's Tampa, that's Plumchak, the puck bouncing up and gets scissored away by Palmer.
Good work by MTSU, really putting pressure on Tampa as they try to enter the zone.
Amazing to think how pretty much 50 seconds are off as it's called offsides for Tampa, but amazing to think you've got about 44 seconds that are already gone from the power play that MTSU has killed.
So far, nary a shot attempt, at least on this second penalty, since it's been put on the board against Ratliff.
At Tampa just trying to weave around and find those screens to be able to get a shot on there, find a lucky deflection of some sorts, and not had the chance to do it. As this goes back out, and Tampa will have to reset. They'll bounce it back in. And along the outside, Hofberg. Hofberg trying to weave it through. He couldn't find DeFalco on the connection. DeFalco weaves it back, and another shot that goes high and wide, and it'll go out of play. That was off of the stick of Sickles.
Well, all of a sudden Tampa's penalty kill or power play just was waking up. And before a little bit lackluster, but good entry in on that last face-off. And good shot on, had a guy, DeFalco, streaking in through the slot. Good scoring opportunity for the Spartans.
Tampa from the blue line, a slung-in shot, and off of the pads, couldn't get the follow-up. Another one, another shot, another one, they score! Sickles put it back in on the third follow-up at the 15:54 mark. Tampa found the equalizer.
Boy, and that just showed a good opportunity for both to not, as both teams refused to give up. A couple of shots on and a good first and second effort by Kopech. Even had Beechler back behind him to come in and help protect that. But Tampa refusing to slow down, had a great scoring opportunity and took advantage of it on the power play to tighten it up to 1-1. So Lou DeFalco with the goal at 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And again, I can't hear the PA announcer well enough to know who the assist came from. But we will find that out and make sure that we enlighten everybody.
As you said, Lou DeFalco getting the goal, and we'll, of course, clarify that with the stats. Again, the game sheet not live right now. We'll see if we can get that fixed throughout remainder as MTSU tries to get a shot on that goes just past the glove of Palandajan. Middle Tennessee keeping the pressure on in the zone as this gets sent back down to Blue Raiders side of the ice, and it's rolled an icing on Tampa.
Over on the ice behind us in the Division III tournament, University of Florida knocks off University of Tennessee 4-2.
Yeah, that Division III bracket going on in multiple courts here in the Panthers IceDen. All the Division II and Division III games being played over the next couple of days here in Coral Springs. Tampa with a quick rush trying to get the connection there on the shot to McDonough. I beg your pardon, that was Haupt who tried to get the shot in front of the net. 15 minutes remaining in this second period. And Joyce fighting for it. This gets sent back. Middle Tennessee has a chance. Here goes Stalzer. And we have a whistle.
Again, trying to check Game Center to see if anything is coming up.
Yeah, because you said it was DeFalco who scored the goal on that, because at first I thought it was Sickles who put it in on the back door.
Maybe it was Sickles. Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, because if it was Sickles, it's his birthday today. He just turned, today he just turned 20. So that would be a good birthday goal for him. But we'll get the update for that heading into the next thing. But at least for now, we'll go with DeFalco, the 19-year-old who now has goal number 4 on the season, to tie it up 1-1. Tampa controlling it in the neutral zone as this goes back out in the possession of Ratliff. And you notice how Kopech pointed to one of his other teammates there, saying, hey, you've got a guy to pass here in the neutral zone. Talked about that communication that the Blue Raiders have really had a skill for on the regular season, shows there. As this goes back along the boards and is slung back past the neutral zone, and it will be all the way down for an icing.
Momentum shifting big time in the direction of Tampa. And they just about halfway through that last power play, as Ratliff was in the penalty box, it just all of a sudden they flipped a switch, and Tampa really taking it to MTSU the last 5 minutes of this game. And now MTSU, I said that quickly, and MTSU scores.
Palmer with the second goal for the Blue Raiders. The captain gets goal number 24 on the season.
Not a whole lot that I can say about that other than just we talked about dirty goals and just staying down there and taking out the trash, and MTSU throwing it in. Palmer with a good deflection in, and MTSU back on top 2-1.
Lyndon Palmer previously with the AA affiliate Nashville Flyers. Turns 22 in about a couple of weeks.
11 days. Actually, my wife and I were discussing that this afternoon on the way to the rink today.
Might as well tell him after the game that he's already gotten his birthday gift. He got a goal within the first 14 weeks. You tell him, all right, son, we'll skip it this year. You got a goal in the playoffs.
I don't know, as many sticks as we've had to buy him this year, maybe that'll count. It's just frightening how expensive hockey sticks are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
just think about all the hockey's ice hockey is the most expensive sport.
I love to hear my friends with kids that play travel baseball complaining about the cost of a bat. I'm like, no.
Yeah, talk to him about the fees for renting ice rinks,
Exactly.
especially in southern states where it gets hot in the summer. As this bounces off of the boards, Tampa back in possession. Just over 13 minutes left to go in regulation as this gets slung back around. Tampa trying to get it on Middle Tennessee's goal, and a 2-on-1 opportunity. 1-on-1 for the shot, and a great save by Palandejan. A great opportunity for Yesnak, but could not get it past David Palandejan.
Nice.
But here's another chance for him, and couldn't get it through again. You could tell that Donovan Yesnak really wants to get the puck on net. As this gets sent for another shot. That was Wrench, who gets collided with the Tampa Spartans, and now Tampa possesses the puck as they get a quick rush with another shot that goes high and wide on the backside of the net. An incredible sequence on both sides as we have a whistle.
Puck gets knocked up on the net. That whole scoring sequence was started just by a nice blocked shot from Matt Siciliano. Went off of his leg pad and bounced out to Yesnak. Yesnak off to the races, and got to credit Siciliano coming in hard, came in a little bit too. If he'd been back about 2 more strides, he'd had an easy secondary shot, and then maybe it'd been a 3-1 hockey game. As such, great play by Palandejan keeping Tampa back in this.
Blumchak deals it forward as Tampa will get back into MTSU's side of the ice, trying to sling it around for a pass. In the area was Zahalen, but had a defender around him. As this goes back along the board, slung around, McMillan in the area. McMillan trying to weave it around. He's got several players around, trying to go on the back door for the shot there, and it's finally gloved down by Kopech.
Aiden Kopech, cool as a cucumber in that play, just waiting for an opportunity to freeze the puck. Now turning around and talking it up with the official. That is one thing that Kopech does better than anybody else. You talked about communication. Not only does he communicate with his teammates, but he spends a lot of time talking to officials.
And at least for what we've seen, good conversations, not trying to get calls to go his way.
Absolutely, just trying to make sure he understands where they're coming from and make sure they understand what his concerns are.
DeMumbrum tried to weave it around. Here's another shot that slings just past there from Banas. Banas will get it back over to Palmer. Palmer in the area, DeMumbrum. Yeah, but this gets off the skate and into the stick of Beechler. As MTSU keeps it back in Tampa zone with the pressure on. Number 2 seed in the North trying to fend off the number 3 seed in the South and trying to climb up the rankings for the national My Hockey list. As this gets shot on net and Palandejan gloves it down. A shot from Brendan Ogle.
Folks sitting here looking through some of the live chat on the College Hockey South feed. Chime in, let us know where you're tuned in from. We know obviously lots of people from Tampa, lots of people from Middle Tennessee, but people from all over the country tuning in to watch our kids play. Love to hear from you.
bit of a drive from Murfreesboro out to Coral Springs for any of the. We got several Blue Raider fans that are actually here in stadium as well. Made a good trek to come out here and support their respective players.
We always have good families that good support. So appreciate all of our families that travel and make it special for these boys.
My geography's right. We're about 4 or 5 hours away from Tampa, maybe a little more than that.
That sounds about right. Yeah, it's about 3.5 hours to Orlando and about another hour past. So
as Tampa gets another quick rush, that shot goes wide from McMillan. Tampa slings it around the glass as this goes into the area of Lima, but fought along the boards again as Lima will try to sling it back around as some good maneuvering to get it back out to his teammate. As this will go back down, Middle Tennessee has a chance, but it's a 1 versus 2, so not much they can do other than dump it in for a line change. And that's exactly what the Blue Raiders were trying to accomplish on that play. As this goes back down with 10 minutes left of the second, and we have a whistle for an icing.
Boy, good effort there by number 92, Brennan Sickles, to come in and try to get to the puck or get to the hash marks first to wave off the icing, but MTSU just able to get there first. But I love seeing that kind of effort. Halfway through the second period, MTSU on top, 2-1.
Yeah, this Blue Raider team trying to hold on to this thin margin of victory and try to give themselves a security goal. Tampa, on the other hand, tries to fend it off as that gets off of the pads of Palandajan. This goes back into the neutral zone. Middle Tennessee back into the possession of Siciliano. Yasnak, fight for it. Middle Tennessee back. They have some numbers. Trying to weave it around. They'll wait for the rest of the cavalry. Try to get a deflection as it goes high and wide.
Good stick by Aiden Rodriguez.
Rodriguez on the great awareness there as Ratliff fights for it along the boards with several Spartans. As Tampa will try to get it back down. Goes back, Rodriguez. Rodriguez with the slap shot, and it's immediately clenched down by Kopik.
Those are kind of shots that, as a goaltender, you love. Coming right into your breadbasket, no chance for a rebound. Wide angle, easy to see. Of course, the purpose, get the puck deep and take the face-off down low.
Stays on side thanks to the efforts of McMillan. But Middle Tennessee will try to fend it off. Interesting maneuver there that Banas, fortunately, it worked out in his favor. As here's another quick opportunity for Middle Tennessee. Papanetti trying to get it on net, and Palandajan with another save. Hawkins back in possession as this goes back along. Here's Tampa. Palamjak cleared it out at first, and this will go into the splash zone for the Spartans.
Don't know what he did to what his own bench did to him, but flipped it over there, and there was a lot of heads moving. .8:38 remaining here in the second period. Goals here in the second period. It's a little, can't tell if it was DeFalco or Sickles, but we'll find out shortly. But nonetheless, Tampa picking up their first goal of the game at 4:08. Then answering at 6:12, Lyndon Palmer puts the go-ahead goal in for MTSU.
Tell you, almost felt like this was going to be 0-0 at the end of the first period. Then chances started opening up, and only one goal scored thus far here in the second. Unless Tampa has something to say about it. As this gets back past the blue line, Middle Tennessee has got numbers for a 3-on-2 as they dump it back. Trying to go for the shot, Palandajan gloves it down.
That was the right call by DeMumbrum to come in, trying to take it off of the pad, but Palandajan did a great job knocking that down. No rebound as he had Palmer coming up on the near slot in his blind spot. Big rebound there, could have been a big goal for MTSU, but excellent goaltending for the Spartans.
You know, for two teams that, we'll get to that in a second. Here's a quick rush for Tampa that is fended off by the defense. Hoffberg looked like he had an opportunity, and another chance there. Zahalen was broken up.
Nice play there by Jacob Placentia on the back check to break that up.
Here's McMillan possessing the puck as try to squeak it out of their own zone. McMillan will send this up. Good stick maneuvering there from Zahalen, who's still got the puck at first. Looked like it was Zahalen, and actually it was another one of his teammates as it goes back down, and this will be whistled for an icing.
Looked like that was Hofberg.
Yep. Yeah, Hofberg took a little bit of a collision into the boards. Looked like his knee went first there. 7:30 left to go in this second period. Face off in Middle Tennessee's zone as Tampa trying to find another equalizer. They have not led all game. Sent back outside the blue line. Dumped back in with a pass and intercepted by DeMumbrum. But Tampa still keep possession as that shot goes high and above the net.
I believe you said something funny about not getting sick.
Yeah, both of us, a lot of people around the country going through bronchitis, flu symptoms, and everything with the winter.
The weather would make up its mind. That would help.
DeMumbrum trying to weave it around the point, and Tampa with the interception to fend off the attack for a moment. Wrench with the shot and gloved immediately by Palandajan.
Good look there by Wrench, just taking an opportunity to see if he can make something happen, but easy can of corn for the goaltender. As such, faceoff comes down to the right of Palangian.
Another fight for the puck along the boards among several personnel, and it's finally won by Antanasio, who gets it back out in the area. McMillan back in possession along the boards, fighting for it. This goes back to Middle Tennessee's side of the ice and back down to Tampa's end. Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee back in possession. This goes over Siciliano, and another glove save by Palandajan after the save.
A couple of opportunities, MTSU making themselves available as Yesnak was on that high near slot, but right behind him, Jacob Schenk right there available, had a couple of opportunities, and that's the thing that makes it successful when you come out behind the net. If you've got multiple opportunities to move the puck, it just creates scoring chances.
We haven't been short of those in this game, that's for sure.
Not at all.
Well, we were talking about it in the open of how these high-scoring offenses, we're only at a 2-1 score right now as this goes down for icing, and Tampa's bench not happy with that call.
I think they might have something to argue because I believe that they got there first. And the referees, they're going to admit that maybe they made a mistake, so they'll bring the puck back to center ice.
One of the few times you have officials take accountability.
Yeah. But, you know, that's one of those things that you love to see. And,
yep.
in the end, did it really affect things? Probably not a whole lot. But at least it did not give the advantage to MTSU in that situation.
As Tampa, we had almost a wipeout from one of the officials. He was even saying, come on, man.
Although he went down a lot softer than I thought he was going to. I'm glad he's okay.
He had the puck go off of his skates a little bit earlier, and this gets slung for a powerful shot. No danger for Kopech as it goes on the left side of the net.
Good, powerful back check for Tampa, really setting things up nicely. I think MTSU thought that there was a high stick, and they didn't want to play the puck.
Even though they could have forced Tampa to reset on that had they sent it down. And what a slung shot from the distance as it's Kopech good to anticipate it.
Puck kicked out. MTSU looks a little bit out of sorts right now.
Well, at least for the moment, as this gets intercepted by Hendricks. Hendricks with the shot and another save by Palandajan.
That was actually 21 Papanetti.
That was Papanetti, yeah.
Yeah, but I saw Hendricks sitting in the stands earlier,
Yeah.
so. But boy, that was quick.
looks like from the side when you have that 1 or 0 on there.
Sometimes these numbers are really hard to pick up.
Yeah, Papanetti.
As you found out in the last game, Vanderbilt's black jerseys with the gold lettering, that's tough.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't calling that one, but at least the other
Okay.
broadcasters, they had the trouble on there, as would have almost been trouble with that backdoor opportunity. Another shot that skates away, and a good save there by Lima. This gets sent back to about the back right side of the net as Tampa fights for it again. Lyon in the area. Lyon trying to find a teammate to pass it to. Will sling it in front. Another shot as this goes on the back side of the net, and we have a stoppage. I believe they called that a high sticking, maybe.
Net went off.
No, okay, yeah, dislodge.
Yeah. They're preventing MTSU from changing, so it was something that they caused. So saw the fish come over and reset the net. So
MTSU will win that face-off as they try to clear the zone, but they won't for the moment as another shot opportunity gets saved. Steiner on the shot for Tampa. TSU tries to inch it along the boards as this gets back into Gaiman's area.
MTSU needs to be very careful that their defense coming out very high.
Palomchak with a rocket of a shot as this goes back on net. Another save there from Kopik. MTSU initially possessing it, but the puck's still loose. Finally back in possession to Tampa as it stays in Middle Tennessee zone for a brief moment and back to the neutral zone for the Spartans to reset. Back out to the red line. Tampa will dump it into Middle Tennessee's side as this goes back over to Gelman. Gelman trying to swat it down was McMillan. And Middle Tennessee has an option, 2-on-2. Rogers passes it off, trying to set up the shot, and Palandajan just snipes it out of midair.
MTSU, I think, fortunate to be in this situation is the last couple of shifts down deep in their zone saw them standing around an awful lot, and Tampa skating to pucks and creating opportunities that MTSU leaving wide open. MTSU going to have to move their feet and work harder if they want to stop this Spartan offense.
Puck ends up being bounced along the boards after the faceoff. Tampa, and great maneuvering there from Landers as it stays in Tampa's side of the ice, but an interception there on the outside, and it's now about a 2-on-3, but trying to go for the shot, couldn't get the follow-up. Good shot there and good save from Kopik.
Antanasio with a great opportunity, got the big rebound, but MTSU with Smith right in front, able to sweep it away. Dangerous rebound, it could have been bad.
Middle Tennessee slings it back around. That was Hawkins, the intended receiver. As the Blue Raiders try to reset it here, that bounces off of skate of a player. Rogers will get it back and pass it onside. There goes Hawkins trying to get the pass off, trying to get the shot off, I should say. And it was body blocked by Cowart as they fight for it along the boards.
Long shift for MTSU's fourth line as Landers will come and get a change.
Minute 55 left to go in this second period. Trying to pitchfork it around to the front of the net. Middle Tennessee with a fired shot, and Palandajan just has not shown, other than the one goal scored on him, has not really shown that much of any sort of weakness in terms of, I beg your pardon, he's had 2 goals shot on him, but he's really stood tall in the moments when he's needed to.
Positioning is good. He's been in great places. Just that first goal from Giblin, a little nifty blind through the legs, has managed to get it through his 5-hole. And then that second deflection by Palmer, not much chance for him in that situation, but he's making all the saves he's supposed to be making. And like I said, great positioning and very solid goaltending for the Spartan goaltender.
Took a little bit to see who would win it off of the face-off and trying to get the puck with Siciliano, but now Tampa has got a chance. Tampa back in the Middle Tennessee zone trying to pass it off in front as it goes behind the backside of the net. And Tampa will try to reset for a play.
TSU fortunate as they did not pick up Hoffberg coming in the near slot. Wide open opportunity for Tampa.
Siciliano on net, and Palandajan pads it away. Siciliano trying to weave it around again, looking for a pass in front, and Banas will keep it on side as he tries to get a shot off there as it gets dumped back, and still in possession, Wrench. Here's Wrench back trying to go for a quick one-timer there was Yesnak. As another shot on that, Palandajan defends it successfully and still kept onside by the Blue Raiders. And now they will have to reset as it goes past the blue line. And Tampa with an opportunity on a one-on-one trying to go for the save. And what another stand-up effort by Kopech.
And a great back check by Anthony Banas to take away the easy shot on, but still a great save by Kopech, as you mentioned.
Under 30 seconds in the second period. And we got a little bit of a fight along the boards between two players. Well, for Tampa and Middle Tennessee, as the action's still going on the ice, they punched each other a little bit, but got right back to action.
Referees recognizing 15 seconds left, just going to let it go. I imagine there will be a discussion with them after the whistle.
And this will be poked in front. Lima with an opportunity for the shot. It bounces off of the boards. And this goes back for the final seconds, and that'll get us to the end of 2 minutes. Only one goal in the second period, and it gave Middle Tennessee the lead at 2-1.
There's one on both sides.
Yeah, you're right. It was a 1-0 at the end of the first, but one apiece on both sides, and Middle Tennessee still has the lead. We'll be back for third period action in about 13 minutes here from Coral Springs.
Well, let's try take 2 of this without, hopefully without having to cough or anything. But you see the Ameritrans Cup, the path is clear for all the teams. No play-in games, no round robin, nothing along those sorts. Vanderbilt lost to South Florida in the earlier matchup. And right now, score holding with Middle Tennessee leading 2-1 over Tampa. So South Florida awaits the winner of Miami and Clemson, and the winner of this game will collide with either Florida Atlantic or Ole Miss. Spencer Thompson, Brady Palmer, you got Mr. Kevin running the direction side of the camera angles, and a lot of crew of assembled people from teams all around the conference in Division II and Division III. Really cool time to be with you here at the Panthers IceDen in Coral Springs, Florida. But you don't care as much about the crew. You care about what happened in the second period. So, Brady, we got some second period stats.
Before I get to that, I do want to say it is really, really neat how the College Hockey South, all the schools come together to work hard together to help promote the sport, because I understand that's what it's about. It's about promoting the sport. Looking at scoring, you had it right to begin with. Tampa's goal at 4 minutes and 8 seconds into the second period comes off of the stick of number 92, Brendan Sickles. Assists came from number 22, Trace Cowart, and number 86, Tyler Hoffberg. For the MTSU Blue Raiders at 6 minutes and 8 seconds into the second period, the goal scored by Lyndon Palmer was assisted by Ethan DeMumbrum, at least according to the official score sheets. And looking at shots in the second period, MTSU on top 10 shots to 8. MTSU with a total of 30 shots, 14 shots for Tampa in a big turnaround. MTSU usually on the positive side of faceoffs, but Tampa winning 20 faceoffs to MTSU's 11 in that second period actually gives Tampa the edge, as they now have 28 faceoffs to 25 for MTSU. Still right around that 50% mark for both squads, but kind of tells the difference of two periods where MTSU dominated in that first period. Second period, Tampa coming back and playing a much stronger game, as they really put a lot more pressure on MTSU, and the faceoff numbers seem to indicate that.
Sickles on his 20th birthday scoring a goal, the only goal so far for the Spartans, and they're trying to change that as that puck skips out of play over the glass.
Man, that thing really went up high. There's a big, tall ceiling in this facility here. So if you're going to hit the ceiling or hit any of these roof girders, boy, you're really going to have to put something on it.
Is there something special about looking at a freshly Zambonied piece of ice, too? Like, you think about it, and even like 7-8 minutes from now, it's going to not look as smooth.
There's nothing like coming out and skating on one either.
Oh, sure.
What few little men's league games I've played in, boy, it's so nice to come out on that fresh sheet of ice.
You do not want me on ice skates or roller skates. I'm not coordinated enough for that. You're not good. If you're not good enough as an athlete, you just call it. Oh. That's at least my approach. I don't know about yours, but
well, that was why I had to quit playing. It just my knees wouldn't let me do it. I still enjoyed, and mind you, I was no good. I played rookie league, but I was out there having fun and enjoying myself. So.
Oh yeah, and you could tell even in this stressful playoff environment, a lot of these guys are really enjoying themselves on the ice.
Absolutely. You don't do this if you don't enjoy it. Especially at this level, it's club hockey. You're paying to play. Some of these schools get support from, some of these programs get support from their schools, but not all of them. And so you're out here. You're doing it for the love of the game and the love of your school.
Yeah, the College Hockey South level, at least, is, as you mentioned, all club hockey, not regulated by their conferences. Trying to go backdoor on the shot. Another great save by Kopech. That was DeFalco. We thought initially got that first goal for Tampa. He's trying to get one of his own on the scoreboard.
Boy, I tell you what, and a fantastic heads-up play by him to recognize the open puck and immediately get the wraparound on it. But a nice save there by goaltender Kopech.
Here's Tampa. They got numbers. Couldn't get the shot past Schneck as this goes back to the left side of the boards. And Yesnak tried to fend it off, but it's sent back in by Tampa's defense. But they get a line change in as the Blue Raiders will try to set something back up. Intercepted by McMillan along the blue line. And now Tampa will reset and send it back into Middle Tennessee zone as looks like, again, they're getting
Boy, nice little sauce pass intended for Yesnak coming across. That play broken up there by Steiner. Nice job.
dangerous play with the puck bouncing in front. It looked like it could have been poked in by Steiner, and we have an offsides called at the blue line.
Boy, that was dangerous. I really thought that looked like that was just going to glide right over Kopech's glove and maybe find that top right corner. As such, we continue to play on.
It's 17:43 remaining in regulation. It was a 1-1 score margin between these two teams in the second. Middle Tennessee had one lone goal in the first.
Good look, and just couldn't connect.
Now can Tampa return the favor in terms of maybe having a 1-0 third period as this shot goes on net and gets fended off by Kopech. And one poked away by Beechler. Gets sent back down into Tampa's end.
MTSU keeping one guy high.
Slap shot that gets punched away by Palandajan.
Not willing to give up the quick rush.
3-on-2 opportunity for the Spartans with a fire rocket of a shot. Kopech with the good save as Sfera couldn't connect to the back of the net.
And that's exactly what they were trying to avoid earlier when I say about keeping their center high. That time, center plays down low and the puck comes out deep and they get a 3-2 odd man rush and a good scoring opportunity for Tampa.
Back of the blue line, Tampa trying to sling it in off a deflection. Middle Tennessee fends it off. DeMumbrum back in the neutral zone. He's got Palmer with him as he tries to weave it around. Dumped it back to Palmer as this gets sent back into the area of Ogle. And Middle Tennessee back on the offensive attack. Here's Ogle. Back over Sentia. And that bounced off of the pads of Palandajan. This back out to the red line, Tampa.
Good poke check there by Ogle.
Trying to weave it in, and it's a goal.
Oh,
it was a good poke check, and Brandon Ogle has just opened the door wider for Middle Tennessee. 3-1.
Brandon Ogle picked that up just in between the red and the blue line.
Thought we had a replay there for a second.
No, Brandon Ogle picked that up just in between the red and the blue line and just skated it in, split a defender or two, and just goes through and pops it up right up on the goaltender Pelagian. And not much that he could do on that one, but a really nice little wrist shot to go high over the glove side of Pelagian and MTSU on top, 3-1. Goal at 3 minutes and 46 seconds in the third period. Should go unassisted.
The 23-year-old has got goal number 22 after scoring there and has given a bit of security for the Blue Raiders over the Tampa Spartans. Trying to show why, even if the national rankings say they're 2 ranks above them, why Middle Tennessee is a force to be reckoned with when they head down to Jacksonville in a couple weeks. This gets bounced in front, and it's a good response.
Goodness.
It's a goal from Hofberg on the back door, 3-2.
What a great job by Hofberg to come in and set up right in the slot. Did not see who fed him that puck, but it was an excellent one-timer, and Tampa gets it right back. I'd say that has been a bugaboo for MTSU for a long time, as they like to leave that back door open down low like that, and just allowed Tampa to get right back into the game here at 4 minutes and 17 seconds into the third period. Just 30 seconds later after the MTSU goal was how quickly Tampa decided to respond.
Goal number 9 for Hofberg on the season. The 20-year-old from Brandon, Florida, has given Tampa some new life as the Spartans try to swing the pendulum in their favor. This goes back to the neutral zone. The Spartans trying to keep the offensive attack alive as Rodriguez will deal it forward. Middle Tennessee onside. They've got some numbers as that puck skates in front and trying to keep his balance there
was one of the MTSU players, couldn't do it. It was Hawkins. As Hawkins is chasing after the puck on his own end, and icing is waved off. Hawkins with the chase for it behind the net as he kind of trips on his skates. Hawkins, this will get slung around, and Tampa got a lucky break for a moment as this goes back in the area of Lima, and Blue Raiders will have to reset as they do. They actually waved off the offsides there. But Lima will pass it back. Sentia trying to weave it through traffic and tried to get a backdoor pass there in the area. It was Gilbin as Tampa gets back on the rush as they try to get past the neutral zone, and they do. But Middle Tennessee possesses the puck as it's flipped back into center ice. Tampa with the sliding save there, bumped along the blue line in the boards. That's McMillan in pursuit, gets a big check there that's clean.
My.
Tell the fans love to see that in hockey as Middle Tennessee tries to bump it along. Tampa in possession.
Got to keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, that one's probably going to hurt in the morning too.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee fighting for it on the blue line, trying to get the Spartans back in an unfortunate opportunity, trying to weave it through on the pass, couldn't get the shot off. That was Sfera who had the puck in his possession but didn't like the angle he saw, and now the Spartans are back on the move. Sfera trying to crash the net there, and we have a whistle.
Wise play there by Aiden Kopech as he very smartly covers the puck up to stop the onslaught. Tampa smelled blood in the water and was just circling, waiting for that great opportunity. And you know that if that was to continue to go on, they're going to find the back of the net. So credit Kopech for slowing that down and just allowing both sides to get a change, especially that MTSU defense.
And Kopech, too, it didn't look like he was trying to dislodge the net or anything. And one of those times you might think about goaltender interference, but it was actually his own teammate that ran into him there. So couldn't call it there. DeMonbrun with the pass off as Tampa's defense tries to fend off here. This goes back along the boards. And Tampa with some numbers, 2-on-1, make it a 3-on-1, trying to pass it through. It went off of the pads of Kopech.
Nice stretch save there by Kopech.
Kopech tried to slow it down, but didn't get the puck in his stick possession. This skips along back to the neutral zone. Tampa will have to reset. They'll sling it back in the MTSU zone. Looked almost like he was trying to take a shot on goal there as this goes back along the boards into the neutral zone. Tampa possessing it. Their Haupt shovels it in. And Middle Tennessee again fending off the danger, which has seemed to be the story for this defensive front for the Blue Raiders all game. As this gets gloved by Kopech. It's a shot from Zahalen. 12:24 left in this College Hockey South game of the week. A 1-goal difference that at one point was a 2-goal lead, but an immediate response from Tampa, specifically from Hofburg.
And you talk about the game of the week, boy, it has lived up to the hype as it's been a tight one.
Yeah, we almost could have had 2 games of the week with that earlier matchup in Division 2. Sure, we got the College Hockey South staff writer, Danny Baum, right behind us. And I know he doesn't choose the games of the week, but almost seemed like could have been double games of the week on the D2 scene with the first 2 started out the day.
And truthfully, go back and you can watch any of these games on the College Hockey South YouTube page. And go back and watch that if you want to see some good hockey. That was a great game.
This one will get slung back down. And another fight for it along the boards. They'll bump this along, and finally it's wedged out. Still in Middle Tennessee zone up until it gets to the neutral zone. Plomchak will deal it in. Chasing it on the right side is Hofburg. Back along the boards, kept inside the blue line and intercepted by Middle Tennessee's Siciliano, who's hungry for a goal. Siciliano going to try to go for the shot himself as that goes into the mesh.
Deflected by Gavin Plomchak. Siciliano had a beat on it and kind of had Blongian exactly where he wanted him. Had a couple of opportunities that he could have gone either side top shelf. See if he could fool the goaltender and get one, but Plomchak absolutely not allowing it to happen. as we take the face-off over to the right of the goaltender.
Tampa clears the zone, maybe temporarily as it goes out along the glass, and
I believe that's going to come all the way back down into the zone there, and it does.
yeah, to my knowledge, there's no delay of game penalty in collegiate hockey, or at least not in College Hockey South, so you don't have to worry about that. You saw a couple of Tampa players who were pointing up towards the glass, like, you're not going to get that call.
Well, but it did hit the glass, so I think it wouldn't have been a delay of game regardless, but it's not going to be that way anyhow. Stalzer just took a shot right off the leg. He's going to have to go for a blow.
Kopech, again, knows when those shots are going to be coming off, even from distance, as it goes in front of the net, trying to weave it back. Kopech again with another save, trying to scissor it back in there was Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to dive for it. Middle Tennessee might have numbers. Papanetti has got one man to beat. Papanetti scores!
And that whole thing was set up entirely by Ethan DeMumbrum way back in the MTSU zone as he blocked a shot, as he back-checked hard and managed to keep the puck out. There's a couple of opportunities that could have gone on, that they could have taken shots on. But, boy, what a fantastic job by Papanetti to pick that up, take it in, take the shot. So really you have to credit Papanetti with the goal, but Mum's going to have to get one of the assists on that, and probably, if you could, give him 2 assists. Goal in 9 minutes and 3 seconds in the third period.
And Papanetti with goal number 8 on the season. Total of 28 points if you just count that goal. And just over 10 and a half minutes left to go in regulation as Tampa tries to fight back. Managed to keep it within 1. Again, the Spartans have never led in this entire contest. It's been all Blue Raiders.
I want to give a little, nice shot, turnaround shot. Oh, no, oh my
Trying to get the backhand, but couldn't get it to go. Reagan Lyon wishes he had another crack at that shot.
I want to give credit to Anthony Papanetti, and a guy who worked really, really hard.
Here's another shot that weaves wide.
As he was stuck down on the 4th line for MTSU as a winger, earned a position up on the 3rd line after losing about 40 pounds during the offseason, worked hard, and been a great success story for him.
Yeah, these off-seasons start very early, even at the club hockey level. Starting back into the weight room, even when the playoffs are over. Maybe a little bit of celebration for teams that win their conference championship and/or head to nationals, but they get to reset as this gets slung on net and goes wide. Tell you, Tampa is hungry for a goal, trying to find an opportunity. But Middle Tennessee has had an answer. Yesnak tries to weave it through and tried the fancy stick work, but couldn't keep the puck possessed. It's good defending by the Spartans. A slap shot from distance goes off the pads. Upalon. This goes back, another save, and sniped out of the air again, Palandejan.
Anthony Banas has an absolute rocket of a shot back for the blue line. That second one was a fairly easy save. The first shot bouncing in like that, that's a goaltender's nightmare. But Palandejan right there, easily able to handle both of those.
Middle Tennessee already has a cushion goal, trying to get an additional security goal, because what you've seen, Tampa has been able to respond.
2-goal lead's the most dangerous lead in hockey.
Slung back around the boards again by DeFalco. This will go all the way down for an icing.
So again, I think if you're MTSU, it's just more of the same. And, credit Tampa for stepping up and really putting a lot more pressure on the goal.
We got live stats now.
Hey.
Or at least we got live penalties and things to keep track of. Right after this game, Florida Atlantic and the University of Mississippi. That game is set to have opening faceoff at 6:30 Eastern, which looks like we're going to be on pace for it, as long as this game doesn't go to any extracurricular.
They said Papanetti's goal was unassisted. I disagree with that.
8.5 as this puck goes out into the rafters.
But you know, that's one thing that I think it goes deep to most hockey players. Not all of them, but most of them, is they don't really care about the credit. They just want the win. They're not worried about, did I get the assist on that goal? Did I get the credit for the goal? It just, did the goal go in? In the end, do we get a W on the score sheet? Do we continue to play in the tournament?
And just like we said with the dirty goals, doesn't matter, it's still a goal. They count it the same way. Breakaway for Middle Tennessee. Couldn't get the shot on a high shot from Lyndon Palmer as it's still in Tampa's zone.
Almost got the rebound off the glass and sticked it out of the air in.
Middle Tennessee keeping the pressure on as if they're down 2 goals like their opponent is on the ice. As Tampa tries to have numbers, they'll just flip it up in the area and it'll be gloved down by Kopech.
You talked about keeping the pressure on. That's really what you've got to do if you want to win hockey games. Because when you start playing not to lose, that's when wheels fall off. You keep the pressure on. You keep Tampa on their heels, and you survive for another 8 minutes, and you get to play tomorrow against the winner of Ole Miss or Florida Atlantic. And I'm going to tell you, we played Ole Miss for our last 2 games of the season, and they are no joke. They are a quality hockey team.
And we're about to see that coming up after this one. And then we'll decide who plays in the other side of the semi as this bounces back along the boards. Back in, dangerous in front of the net, almost an opportunity for McDonough as this goes back in the area of Smith. Smith possessing it with a quick rush. Smith tries to get it in front and could not get the angle on the pass. Looked like Gilbin was in the area as this gets slung back around. Almost intercepted. This is icing waved off by the official as he's holding another broken stick. And this gets sent back around.
Great play by Giblin just a moment ago as he recognized and he let Smith continue the play down deep into the zone as he broke off and managed to get up in front of the net. Had an opportunity to take a shot if puck had come on. He could have come in and taken the puck as it was just a little bit ahead of Smith, but in good selfless play by MTSU. .708 remaining, third period. MTSU on top 4-2.
You know, I don't have a say in the National My Hockey rankings. I wonder when you look at the differences in the wins and losses between these 2 teams, why Middle Tennessee is ranked 2 ranks lower than Tampa. Now, granted, you're seeing fairly evenly matched, even if the scoreboard says 2 goals difference, but I'm wondering why it's not reversed and 5 and 7 in favor of Middle Tennessee. But it's certainly one of those matchups that's lived up to the hype as if you're having national teams ranking up against each other as this goes back into Tampa's end of the ice.
Well, I will tell you, it came down to the 2 losses against Florida Atlantic because one of them was more than the goal differential that should have been allowed, and the loss, the games against Ole Miss because we didn't cover the spread in the second game that we won and we lost by 4 goals. And so it was right there at the end of the season, so it just had time to drop us down. We, like I say, we were in that number 5 spot after we played and we played Embry-Riddle, and we won both those games, but we didn't cover the spread on either of those. Yep. And so the second half of the season for MTSU has been tough from that standpoint, and we've dropped back, but I think it may work in our favor when it all comes down to it.
You think about even like 6-7 years ago, you couldn't say cover the spread. Now we're talking about it in club hockey play as Middle Tennessee gets it through. Another great play on the aggression, the physical aggression there that fans love so much about the sport as this goes back up to the neutral zone.
Sean Joyce just skating by Anthony Papanetti. Papanetti never moved, and Joyce went down as they collided just a little bit.
McDonough pressing himself against the boards to try and keep the puck in Tampa's possession. Several Blue Raider personnel fighting for it, and sneaks out to McDonough. Back up to the blue line. They'll pass it off along the boards. Trying to slice at it. It's back over to Sfera. Sfera caught up with a Blue Raider as Sfera tries to squeak it out, and it's still back in Middle Tennessee zone as they try to dump it in and pass it off, looking for a chance on net and could not get the puck in time. That was McDonough who had the possession, and now it's back into Landers for a moment as he passed it directly to a Tampa teammate, and now the Spartans will have to reset. This goes back over, and we got a penalty coming up.
Great play there by Stalzer, another one of those players for MTSU that didn't like his playing position and started working hard and started getting some love from the coaches and moved up into a position that he's been very comfortable with so far. But player about to go get comfortable on the bench, J.P. Sfera, going to grab 2 for interference.
Sfera heading into the playoffs, 14 penalties, 28 minutes total, sitting almost a half hour of time sitting in the box instead of being on the ice. Though I know in College Hockey South they don't track minutes that players are on the ice, but be interested to see how many minutes these players have, because especially when you think about it at the collegiate level, same length as an NHL game with 20-minute periods, three periods total. So not like any difference as that hits off of the pipe. Good shot and a chance for MTSU to go up 3 there. That shot, it's off the framework of the net. Siciliano in possession, trying to skid it in, it scores from the corner. Siciliano was hungry for a goal. He already had 100 points on the night, and he's got a goal for himself in this first-round playoff game.
Goal at 15 minutes and 28 seconds. Truthfully, I think set up, I mean, a great shot by Siciliano. You got to credit Zach Giblin for creating traffic down low, and I don't believe that Pelungian really had any idea that was coming in until it was right next to him. And it tells you the importance of those grinders and going down and creating distractions in front of the goal. Elmo comes back up high where McMillan will throw it in off the post.
Yeah, another opportunity there for Tampa. Apologize for those of you who lost audio for a bit. We're back now as this gets slung around and gloved in. Another save by Kopich.
I wondered why you went quiet for a second. I thought, I guess I better fill.
It's a good thing you're also play-by-play because you can easily double over on this.
Yeah, this has been unique for me because every once in a while, Grant Williams, who is a communications major and one of our goaltenders, he will come up and join me on the broadcast. And when he does, I usually try to give him the second period to let him hone his skills. And
sure.
So that's the only real opportunity I've ever had to do color, and it's very uncomfortable. You get a rhythm, and you have to step away from that, and it's just very unique. As we're going to take another timeout, as Tampa wants an opportunity to think about it. They got 56 seconds remaining to the penalty on Papinetti. As I look over at him in the penalty box all by himself, looking forlorn and sad and dejected.
He actually does look like that. Looking up here, or
he really does.
Started zoning out a little bit, but
which, if you know Paps, it's absolutely nothing like him. He's one of the roommates that lives with my son in the hockey house of MTSU, and he's quite a colorful character. So it's an unusual look for him. But nonetheless, 56 seconds remaining in the penalty on Anthony Papinetti, and with the face-off coming down deep in the MTSU zone, they will keep their goaltender on the bench and continue this 6-on-4 advantage.
.244 left in regulation, a 3-goal deficit for the Spartans to overcome, trying to find at least some spark. And surely, regardless of whether they get a goal or not in this, they're going to keep their goaltender pulled in desperation mode at this point. As they'll sling this around the boards, and it's pinched in as Tampa fights for it with 45 seconds left of the power play, trying to sling it in, kicked away by Bennis, and sounded like it may have hit off of the framework of something there, maybe off of the boards. Tampa trying to sling it in again as that goes off of the mesh.
It hit right at the very top of the glass is where that hit, because I fully expected it was going out. Well, that's going to keep it down deep. And Tampa doing a good job of trying to move the puck around, creating scoring opportunities, but MTSU really working hard, and that timeout, I think, probably helped MTSU as they were able to keep some of their key defenders down on the ice, and the officials over working on that.
That was the same thing at the start of the game.
Yeah, well, and I noticed during the second intermission that some of the crew here at the IceDen were overworking in that spot as well.
Might be one of those overnight projects if it ends up being a problem. As this gets slung all the way down. 30 seconds left in the power play.
MTSU being smart, keeping their defenders back. Empty netter doesn't mean a whole lot at this point.
We're at the 2-minute mark in regulation here in Coral Springs as it's possessed here by Ogle. Ogle trying to go for the open net. Ogle trying to flip it up and does not get it on net, goes wide. But Middle Tennessee just trying to waste time on the power play, and they will get back to full strength, but an empty netter to have a 6-on-5, and the back door from who else with the captain, Lyndon Palmer.
So Lyndon Palmer going to pick up that empty netter. It will be an even strength goal at 18 minutes and 16 seconds. And MTSU certainly going to be playing tomorrow in the semifinals of the College Hockey South Ameritrans Cup.
Chasing the Ameritrans Cup, certainly for Middle Tennessee, also trying to chase that AAU Nationals title later on. But you talk to any of these players or any of the coaches, take it one game at a time, but everyone's saying they want the first cup. They want to go with what's in front of them and chase this because it's more important to the Blue Raiders right now.
Well, they have a lot to prove. Last year they were upset. They knew they weren't going to get into the into the conference play, but we qualified to make it into nationals, but politics kept them out of nationals. And so this season has been one that they wanted to prove something, and they certainly have, and good to see them continuing to work towards that goal. Not content just to get there.
Yeah, similar case with Clemson this year in that they are not going to nationals, although there was some talk about last second we actually can bring you to the nationals tournament, and then already not able to make the commitments and arrange the travel budgets and all of that. So Clemson, this is the only trophy that they're going to be playing for in the nightcap for the D2 tournament.
I do want to take just a second, just talk about, you talk about raising the funds. It is very expensive to do these. MTSU fired up a GoFundMe account, and the MTSU faithful came through donating $25,000, which will pay for most of the travel expenses for us to come here and to go to Jacksonville. So just an expensive sport all the way around.
Yep. Similar teams having that same situation. 2-on-1 here for MTSU as they lead 6-2, trying to get another goal on, and it'll be defended off. As Tampa, they will play in one of the consolation games tomorrow. After the first round games, it goes by the lowest seeded losers from the games tonight, and the semifinals reseeded in terms of the higher seeds and who each of them play.
That's going to do it, as that's going to come to an end. MTSU with their first ever conference championship tournament win, as they again will move forward and play the winner of our next game, which features Ole Miss. Thank you. I knew it for Atlanta. I couldn't remember who came from our division, Ole Miss. And like I said, I think that's a game that could be very good. Ole Miss, a very good, very high-powered quality program. And Florida Atlantic, I tell you, it'll be a matchup that I think MTSU will be happy to get back and play either one of those teams. And so it'll be watching that game to see how that plays out.
Should be a fun one. Middle Tennessee will await the winner of Florida Atlantic and Ole Miss, and that's coming up here on the College Hockey South YouTube page in just a moment. Brady Palmer, our camera director, and Mr. Kevin, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly. I'm Spencer Thompson saying so long from Coral Springs. The Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee, with their first win in College Hockey South playoffs competitions, are moving on to the semifinals.